การแข่งขันกอล์ฟรายการ Meijer LPGA Classic 2025 ไม่มีนักกอล์ฟมืออันดับต้นๆของโลกหลายคนมาร่วมแข่งขันเนื่องจากเลือกที่จะเตรียมความพร้อมเพื่อเข้าแข่งขันรายการเมเจอร์ในสัปดาห์หน้าแต่การแข่งขันก็เป็นไปอย่างสนุกสนานและน่าสนใจรายการนี้มีนักกอล์ฟสาวไทยเข้าร่วมการแข่งขัน 5 คนแต่ผ่านการตัดตัวเพียง 2 คนติดตามเชียร์ไปด้วยกันนะครับแม็กซิมัสแชนเนลขอขอบคุณทุกท่านที่รับชมรวมทั้งกดไลค์กดติดตามและกดกระดิ่งแจ้งเตือนขอเชิญชมกันได้เลยครับ
The LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Belmont, Michigan, it's live second-round coverage of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. It's always great to be back here in West Michigan. Since 2014, Blythefield has been host to this great event, and Jay Brewers and Fredericks, the 20,000 square foot food pavilion, is walking today here along the Rogue River, the lower part of the golf course. The classic for Simply Give. Blythefield Country Club opened back in 1929 and hosted the world's best in women's golf now for an 11th year. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel looking at some of the action from earlier today. Carlota Segunda at 18.
She's had some solid finishes this year, but has yet to really give chase.
That was her 9th hole of the day. Carlota shot 67. Celine Boutier shot 68 yesterday. This was her 3rd at 3.
Tough par 4, missed the fairway and the green, but no problem for Celine.
And then up the hill at par 3, 5th for birdie.
Her putter was red hot yesterday, stays that way today. One of 7 birdies on her card today.
Back-to-back 68s for Celine. And out here in the afternoon wave, Minjee Lee at the 6th.
Other players also had quite a few good starts this year, yet to break into the winner's circle, looking for her first victory of the season.
We're at the 12th. Mentioned Grace Kemp lost a playoff last year to Lily Avu. Lexi Thompson was in there as well, and here she is again, Morgan.
When you have that kind of confidence from previous good play on a course, it's always fun to come back. And not surprising to see her find her way back towards the top of the leaderboard here.
In front to negotiate. She's had a feel around the outside of the ball to make sure that she's not going to hit a bunch of roots, because she does go down after the shots.
It's just uncomfortable, Karen, when you know that you have the tree that could potentially hit your backswing, plus you're worried about the root, plus trying to keep it low. Not an easy shot. You can see she's kind of short with this because she's afraid of potentially hitting the tree. She was upright enough, it wasn't in the way.
Got to hit this shot over the left bunker, which means there's only 5 yards over that to use. She has a gap wedge out. It is into the wind, so that will help.
And you can see, Karen, just how she came through impact there, just how thick that rough was there. And just even with the gap wedge, impossible to control when you've got that much grass in between.
One off the lead.
This also heading towards that right bunker. Oh, carries it. What a break.
No wonder she loves it here.
It is, and it's not an easy one. There's downhill with some left movement in this.
At this point, it's just minimizing the damage, trying to control the speed and get down in 2 putts.
Up 5, struggled early, rallied late. This now to tie the lead today. She birdied her first 2 playoff holes, but it wasn't good enough. Lilia won it on the 3rd. Lexi Thompson in there as well. And I think she took some pride knowing that as McKendron.
Going with a long fairway wood. Try and get something up by the green. Oh, goodness. I think this is left.
Oh, yeah, that was huge left, Morgan. Big pull hook.
Oh, my goodness, Kay. That's going to be
11 scoreboard. Or a little left of that.
Yeah, I mean a little left of it's fine too.
Yep, perfect. Right, left help up there, okay?
So Lex has got 255 to the front, 272 to the hole. She's on an upslope. She's got some helping wind, particularly if she puts a bit of draw on this, which she can do, especially with the ball above her feet as well. So the finishing line is going to be the red sign on the next tee box, and that's all she can see because the green is blind to her. She's got enough height on it.
Oh, what a shot, Karen. Look at that. Just tremendous power right there.
Nothing in her way, no trees. So really lucked out with where she could drop this instead of trying to hit it over the new Kraft Heinz Pavilion area.
Where did her ball end up, Kay? Where was it?
It was on the edge, just in the rough, right off the 18th tee.
Wow.
I think some of our viewers at home should probably relate to that, Kay.
She'll be there in a few hours. This is basically an 80-yard shot. Pretty well judged coming out of that thick rough.
So let's see if this can get Brooke going. Here's the second at the par 3 15th for Keno. Okay, that moves her right onto the cut line at -1.
It's just...
Well, she talked about having her yardage books full of notes, positive and negative, always learning something new about the golf course. This is definitely going to be a new note.
Might not be one she wants to keep.
Oh, yeah, that second shot was way offline. Like you said, I think our viewers at home could appreciate from where she played.
Tough start for Brooke, trying to fight her way back. Missed opportunity there at the par 5. Amanda Doherty for birdie at the 11th.
Kind of, you can see almost that color change right in the middle of her putt. It's not quite the fall line, but it's the high point in the green. Gonna make it tougher to read this putt right here. If anything, should slow up as it gets closer to the hole, going a little bit more up the hill and potentially fall to her left. We saw it yesterday afternoon. Players struggle as the day went on from long range to dial in the speeds.
Whoa. Doherty dials it in, and that takes her to 4 under.
James is signaling at the spot that is left, so she's wanting this to move to the right, but the wind is going to try and hold it up a little bit too, because there's a bit of wind blowing across this green from her right to left.
She had any kind of a similar line to Jin Young? Could she have learned anything?
No, she's a little bit more left of Jin Young. And that actually moved left as it went up the slope.
Yeah, that broke up the hill there, Karen.
Yeah.
Back we go to the 8th, and Minjee for a bounce back birdie.
Yeah, this was after she hit out of the bunker. And she sure did that with authority.
Now walk it in, Kay.
So she made that 4 or 5 footer for
The injuries that Jin Young has had to cope with, and how hard it is to come back from those, and she's continued to play throughout.
Yeah, one of the worst things that I ever did was try to play through an injury. I felt like it caused a lot of bad habits in my golf swing. I don't recommend it. It's not ideal. And then just makes it even that much tougher to come back. But it's hard as an athlete, Karen, to stop playing, to be in these big events and say, oh, you know, maybe I could make it through. Let's give it a shot.
It's serious FOMO, isn't it? You just think you're going to miss out on something.
Lexi's dealt with some of that, hasn't she, through the years with some wrist issues. Even spring of last year, it had her really wondering. I think that's one of the reasons why she announced that she was going to step away full time, but healthy now and a chance for birdie here.
Well, you think about, the schedule that Lexi's had since she was 15. It's been pretty intense from a very young age of tournament golf and traveling around the world. And I think everybody gets some serious burnout at some point or another in their careers.
Well, a disappointing 3-putt par at the 11th, Jin Young Ko.
That's an 8-iron on the way for Jin Young. There's very little help in this wind at all, just much more across.
We haven't seen anybody really take that whole location on yet in our coverage.
Some last-minute calculations with her caddy.
It keeps moving around.
That's a 6-iron on its way. Pretty good line, hit it high. Might not get there. Yeah, that wind just batted it down.
It does say for the next few hours, the wind south to east-southeast.
At the 11th, Lexi, sorry.
And she also has an 8-iron here.
Third shot, par 5, 14th, one back at the moment.
Has to negotiate the shoulder, which is to her left. Shoulder of the bunker, that is.
Thinking about getting this chip as close as she can to have an easy up and down. Plenty of green to work with.
Right into that upslope on the first 5 feet of the green, well judged.
And now Lexi.
There's a little bit of uphill in this putt, and from where I'm looking at, I think it wants to move left. I think it's important to remain pretty positive out here on the greens in the afternoon, Morgan. Give it a good roll.
Yeah, it's one of those almost mental catch-22s. You don't want to hit it so hard that you have a 3 or 4 footer coming back, but you need to give it enough pace to hold its line in the late afternoon Poana.
Grace Kim to tie the lead at 14.
Speaking of late afternoon Poana.
Hole, so a 48-footer up and over that little wave that Minjee chipped by.
Looks like this is a new putter that Brooke has in her bag. I went to look at some older pictures from Lynn Grant yesterday talking about Maya Stark and what that U.S. Women's Open victory, how that has even inspired Lynn.
Now, Grace Kim is another player who came off the Epson Tour.
139 is the number. Lexi has wedge. Perfectly flat lie here in the middle of the fairway. This is a great opportunity. Got to allow for some help in this wind, and I expect it to take a little hop because of it.
Yeah, didn't quite get that hop that I think she was hoping for. There's a little gully there in the middle of that green.
Grace Kim is to stay tied for the lead.
Oh, excellent up and down. Those clutch par saves really keep the momentum going and keep that confidence in the putter going too.
Jin Young Ko has dribbled into this thick rough. Here's her second.
And it is thick, and the initial sort of foot off the fairway is the worst that you can find. There's no graduated cut here, there's no step cut. It just goes from fairway straight into rough.
And that is put on the brakes.
Boot away at the 11th for birdie.
Really good distance control up and over that ridge in the middle of the 11th green right there.
This was a moment ago at the 12th. Third for Hannah Green.
No, she didn't have much green to use with this chip.
I'd like to go the low route bumping it quite a few times through that fringe. Worked out nicely. Good creativity there.
As we said, that was a moment ago, and now the third for Jin Young Ko.
Just pop this one. There you go. It was quite sticky. That's why she wasn't able to get that club through the ball very quickly, but found a way to do it and really challenge these par fives. I mean, we saw it on the 10th, and I think that's why Lexi just loves it here. I think it gives her a sense of freedom within her game, and I can relate to that, wanting a course that gives you freedom. I never really had any particular favourites. So Lexi has been particularly good round here, though, as you were saying.
Beyond purse, beyond place and schedule, beyond any of those things.
Third for Minjee at the 10th.
Yeah, just about a 35-yard shot, the whole width of the green to work with.
To be fair, there was one course I said I was never going to go back to, and then the next year I shot like 65, and you know, sometimes you never know.
This is true, and all the courses I played well on Morgan, they all taken off the schedule, so
yeah, I was going to say
that.
When can we go back to Sunningdale? Hannah Green, how about that up and down?
Yeah, really smart play after being so far right off the tee, and then creative little number.
Think about 10 where she scrambled for par, that one for par. If she makes the cut and then has a good weekend going into next week's KPMG Women's PGA, where she'll be a returning champion, who knows? Although Hannah does have a knack for winning the week after missing a cut, so maybe she's got everyone right where she wants them for next week. Here's Jin Young for her par.
Wouldn't put it past her, would you?
No.
Jin Young is, again, a player that you have to put in your list of players to be in contention next week as well.
Shouldn't look overly confident in that stroke, but finds the bottom.
Two really good saves there. Let's go to the 16th for our co-leader Grace Kim going up the hill at the par 4.
Got to really commit to the distance control, made even more challenging today with that what it is, what you know it's supposed to be coming off the weather forecast.
Minjee for birdie at 10.
Oh, she's looking really clean, calm, and confident.
Birdie at the 10th. This is Minjee at 11.
Not an easy hole location to get close to. That's a 9-iron. Needs to get up.
Well, that's going to be a bit of a tricky shot, especially as that continues to fall away from the green, quite a bit below the level of the putting surface there.
Grace Kim just off the green at the 16th. This to take the lead.
Just that.
How did you judge the speed
when you 10?
When you had to judge speed, how did you do it?
I feel like I was very much. I did a lot of speed work on the putting green before I went out to play. I was much more of a feel putter than a linear putter. So I just reading all the curves and the speed, just practice good speed control on your putts.
At 11, Brooke.
Taking one club more than Minjee did. 8-iron on its way. Sounded good.
Yeah, that's one of the most aggressive shots that we have seen all day on that 11th. Tough to get it close to that hole.
Grace Kim, bogey free today. Just won yesterday. This for par at 16.
Oh, that just started left.
Is here for Jinyan. This one is uphill, but Jinyan's will move to the right.
Now you really have me thinking, Karen, about how did I manage this.
Some of it's a gift, though, right?
Some of it is. I think putting is an art. I very much think that putting is an art form, and you can kind of get in the weeds with mechanics and with specifics and ways to read greens, but at the end of the day, I just always saw it very much in curves and kind of saw the speed somewhat naturally. Not that it was always perfect, but
Right. Enough to get Grace's attention there for bogey, so she'll...
I don't like asking somebody how do they hit it so far? And they don't necessarily always know that. It's just, it's a gift.
Gift. Nearly a gift from Minji. Couldn't get that to drop, so she'll tap that in for par at 11. We're at 13 again, Hannah Green.
A little bit easier for Hannah, just up the slope and then breaking right back down to the hole.
Just running through all these major champions here, from Lexi, Minji to Hannah Green, and now Georgia Hall for birdie. Remember, she was over on the right. Pitch to this point. And she'll have to settle for par. Nice tee shot from Brooke. This for birdie.
It sure was, and this is a nice looking putt to try to make. Not a whole lot of movement. Oh, that's 2 birdies in a row. She's starting to make a little bit of a climb up the board.
This is a big confidence builder right here, Karen.
Oh, it would be, but that's well done. I was going to say, Morgan, the only reason I ask you is that I always considered you to be one of the best putters out here.
Well, thank you. Putting was a strength of my game, and I relied on it heavily at times.
Speaking of, Ayaka Foodaway over the 12th. We've seen that before, and she needed it. It gets her right on Rancho Mirage, it felt like, on that Sunday. And now Brooke.
Brooke played aggressively off the tee with driver. Just managed to keep it in the fairway, even though her stance is in the rough. 139 yards to this back hole location. You definitely want to allow for some hit and release. These greens just keep firming up.
Oh, goodness, she landed that about hole high.
Yeah,
All right, at 14, Jin Young Ko.
Jinyan's got 211, 191 to the front. It's a 4 hybrid. I think she has to land this just on the front of the green or just short of it and let it hop up. Her lower ball flight struggling to keep this on the green.
Yeah, may trundle off the back left. May hang on.
Ooh, that was good.
There's a false edge on the back side of this green here. Still not done rolling.
Drama. Back at 12, Minji.
Used a fairway wood off the tee to ensure that she would not go into the right bunker. Just a little wedge left. Attack time.
So well today. Looks very confident walking them in.
And one of the players that Grace Kim looked up to, Minji Lee. Here's Grace trying to get that shot back that she lost. Tough one to do it on, but this 17th.
One of the hardest to do it on. It's playing barely under the scoring average of the par 5 18th. 17th is a brutal hole today.
And after a terrific tee shot, Lexi at 14.
Yeah, the signal was for a 7. So she's got 172 front, 192 to the hole, but you've got quite a good bit of wind helping at the minute down here. This one on draw.
Yeah, she had a little bit of an odd finish there. Be okay if that's might fall back off the green. Gonna have a lengthy pitch.
that's in front of the green, so she is on just a hint of an upslope. It's uphill all the way to the hole. That's going to keep coming back.
Yeah, didn't make it up that huge ridge in the green. Frustrating mistake there. Got rejected by the false front earlier and then rejected by that ridge right there.
Minjee for birdie at 12.
Oh, it peeled off a little to the right. If she'd kept that firm and straight, she would have had it. Brooke Henderson made a beautiful chip from over the green to just about gimme range.
Yeah, that was one of the first putts we've seen today from Minjee come up short like that. She's been pretty aggressive with her strokes so far today.
Amanda Doherty for birdie at 15.
Barely getting that one started. It's a quick putt, but not that fast.
Because no one's really on a wheelie load today, leaderboard is bunched up. This is Hannah Green for eagle at 14.
Always going to be a slow putt. Had to go up a big hill.
At the 17th for a rare birdie, Grace Kim.
Only been 7 birdies so far today on this hole. It's kind of the hole, though, you'll take.
2.
Yeah, she does, but she's going to have learnt from Hannah's putt about how slow it is up that hill. But it is fairly daunting because only 4 paces past that flag, the green slopes away down a big slope.
Yeah, best judge of speed. We are starting to see what we saw.
It is going to be, it's slow, Morgan. You said it about that little slope and tier in this green that she has to negotiate. It's uphill pretty much all the way till about 3 yards short of that hole. And then it'll flatten out.
It's a good look at just how uphill this is. We talked about how Lexi's able to take advantage of the par 5s on this golf course with her length, and after hitting such a brilliant tee shot, to still have this for birdie.
Distance. Brooks ended up well left of the hole, but that's the place you want to miss, left of the flag. This is also a 7-iron. This hole's playing 24 yards closer than it did yesterday. Yeah, a little too much draw on that, and it just spun away. Players were hitting 5-iron on this par 3 yesterday, 7-irons today.
Just with that wind coming a little bit off the right, it's been really tough to get it close to that right hole location. Everybody.
At the par 3 15th, Jin Young Ko.
And this is an 8-iron on the way. Hole playing 143 yards today. Plays 3 uphill.
It's playing right in the middle of the road in difficulty today, that 15th hole.
At 13, Minjee for birdie.
Challenging putt from outside of 45 feet, left to right break.
It's similar to what we saw from the group ahead, 2 groups ahead. Leave them all short.
All right, Grace Kim, 1 off the lead, 2nd at the 18th. Through the trees.
She doesn't like it. Came out a little right on her. With that left hole location, that's the place to.
In contention, Hannah Green at 15.
This flag is just over the false front, so got to be aware of that. A little gust of wind.
But leaves it below the hole there. Brilliant shot. And it's a nice visual to have there for Lexi.
It is Lexi with the 8-iron. She's been getting some good height on her shots too, so it should help it stop. Back into the wind. Got a bit of a draw, left half of the green. It's going to stay.
She should be able to get a relief if that's in her way from that sprinkler head.
Over at 13, Brooke Henderson for birdie.
I hope she learned something from Minji. A little higher and harder. Not going to be pleased with that one.
Here. Minji doesn't have as a great record here. Not bad, but not great. This is for par.
That was always kind of looking like a 3-putt after that first effort.
Yeah, it's just not been the easiest hole today, that 13th, with the wind coming out of the right hole location.
Made a slider like this at the par 3 6th that started our show. This one a little more challenging. Got some speed to deal with as well. 2 3 putts.
That one looked like a good stroke, just didn't fall to the right like she wanted. You just have to remind yourself of that. I hit it exactly where I wanted to. Started it on my line.
Even par, even with the 4 birdies for Brooke. All right, that's where the tee shot at 15 came to rest for Lexi.
And she's just getting the rules official to come over and to see if she can get relief from this.
Well, it's going to be like going on the end of like if the ball was over there. No, I mean if the ball was literally a ball over there. Yeah. I can do a club any direction. Correct. Can't drop them. Yeah. I can mark it. I'm not obviously going to drop them really. Do a club any direction. Correct. Can't drop them. Yeah. I can mark it. I'm not obviously going to drop them really. A little higher.
Go. So she had the option to take a club length in either direction, and that's the second time. What a good putt. Missy has paid a visit to this group. She's just given them a little bit of warning to put the foot on the gas a little bit to catch up with the group in front.
That's one way to help make things go a little bit faster, is to make a putt like this. You can tell from that down the line view, it never left the center of the hole. Finally dialed in the speed well.
So that maybe makes up a bit for some of the mistakes.
I think she's struggling a little bit to get the reads right, or to believe in the reads. Hence the tentativeness.
Putter, you're not feeling overly confident. The tendency is definitely to leave it short. You don't want to leave yourself with anything crazy coming back.
We saw that second for Grace Kim hit that tree, and it came down behind it, and that at the very least gives her a putt for birdie.
Yeah, pretty good recovery shot there. Tough to judge, short-sided, behind the tree.
Yeah, Grace was there at Hazeltine, as you were, Karen, watching as a spectator as Hannah Green, that brilliant up and down at the 72nd hole to win the KPMG.
I mean, it really was magnificent, and I really think it gave us the impression of how cool, calm, and collected Hannah Green is under pressure. And she says she's nervous like everybody else, but she just has that air about her, Morgan, of calmness.
Certainly, it almost feels like the Aussie way, but how about...
Here at 16.
She has an 8-iron out. It's 140, but it plays 13 yards uphill. Green sloped heavily from back to front.
Oh, and left it below the hole nicely there. It's going to be a slow putt, but you could see from that angle, you can barely see the top of the flagstick when you're approaching this green.
Grace Kim, this for par at 18.
Okay, you can exhale.
Yeah.
Still feel like you're giving something back to the field, but the way that she has played this week, want to keep that momentum going. Can't give away a shot and a half to the field on that 18th.
Jin Young Ko now at 16.
And she's got 127, and there's a lot of exhaling once you get up to the top of this hill here on 16. It's quite a steep climb.
We were joking about it yesterday, Karen, being...
Get to have a jump start on their putts.
There you go.
Hannah's drawn a really nice lie on the edge of that bunker. Only 103.
Just, even though it was a nice lie, Karen, tough to control. Gonna hang on, be a bit speedy from that spot.
Just get it on the ground running. Yeah, very good.
Verbalizing her process to her caddy, Mikey Patterson. 5 paces to the edge of the green, then another 20 to the hole, so plenty of green to work with.
It looks like she's got quite a lofted club here, Kay.
Yeah, landed that. Oh, that came in pretty low and hot. Landed that about a third of the way on. Not happy with it.
Ayaka Fudaway missed back-to-back cuts for the first time in her young LPGA career. Came back last week and finished 4th at the ShopRite. Made a long one to the 12th. This is at 15.
We talk about speed and rhythm. She has such repetitive rhythm to her putting stroke. It's why she is such a fabulous long-distance putter.
All right, with a great view of this birdie putt, Karen calling Jin Young Ko.
It is uphill. And it was always going to be difficult to get it there.
16.
And as Morgan was saying, it is downhill. But at least you feel like you just have to get the ball started on your line.
Get up and down for birdie at 14. Over at the first. This is Grace Kim making that back return. The severely uphill second.
How about that? Nearly bounces it into the hole.
She doesn't know how good it is.
You can't see anything. It looks like there's absolutely no green up there. It's a small green anyway with a huge false front.
All right, so finishing up at the 9th, this would be an outstanding up and down for Sofia Garcia. Played collegiately at Texas Tech. And that for a round of 71. She hasn't made a cut all season, and this could go a long way. Laura Gonzalez Esquerjon, a former LPGA player, on the bag. And now Grace Kim for birdie to regain a share of the lead.
I know it's got to feel like a bounce back. I know it was a par in the previous hole.
Minji and Brooke going with 8-iron. You can't feel any wind right now, but you know it has to be up there hurting just a bit.
Yeah, just backing off, Kay. Just a little confused. You feel a gust. Back off. Make sure you commit. Even if you commit to the wrong club, you're better off committing to something than waffling and doing half of each.
Oh, this going well to the right, kind of a wipe shot. That was just a weak, high right shot. Probably one of our least favorite shots to hit. It just has no chance of.
It's 17. Been a lot of par putts from this length.
Yeah, this is, as we said earlier, been a really tough hole today. 17 into the wind. Only the 9th birdie of the day today.
And we saw Brooke Henderson's tee shot at 15 go right. Here's the bunker blast.
That's from a very deep bunker, but she had a nice level clean lie, which helped the cause.
Sounded good.
She's such a good iron player. Nice aggressive swing and a pretty good line just right of the flag. Ooh,
yeah, that was
and
really
even that
nice.
one didn't quite get up there.
Looked a little controlled there, Kay, like a little 3/4 follow through. Took a little bit too much off of it right there.
This is Hannah Green.
She has a 8-iron from 143. Needs to go birdie or par eagle.
Didn't have the best sound to it. Maybe a little thin, but worked out nicely.
Second shot from Minjee at 15. All right, Lexi with that fortuitous bounce back into the fairway, and this sets her up for a second.
And she has a 9-iron out from 141. Ball is just a bit below her feet. It's a clean strike there.
Look out for Lexi this weekend. She nearly won here. She and Grace Kim were in the playoff with Lilia Vu that Lilia won on the third extra hole. Now Grace tied again at the top, her second at the second.
Looking at close to 10 feet for par.
Also, after hitting that one on the last one, it was a very different pitch, but so far by, the error for the next would be to leave it short. Poana can be a tricky grass to chip on. You would know it well, Kay, but it can be quite sticky.
Nothing that a nice, solid, firm putt will solve.
So she'll stay. Attempt. Here's Hannah Green at 17.
It is a little bit downhill. Do have to be aware of the speed.
Okay. That's the one that you weren't expecting. And now she'll go to 18 with a chance. Make the cut. Brooke Henderson for par.
Downhill slider. Oh, and another bogey.
And back at 17, Lexi Thompson for birdie.
And even though Jinyoung Ko's birdie putt missed, it did give Lexi a great line.
Wait a minute, I thought 17 was hard.
Find the fairway, this group making it look easy.
Another look.
It's one of the hardest fairways to hit, which is really the reason why it's...
She had a couple of chances last year. Big lead going into the weekend at Wilshire, the JM Eagle.
Sounds like a good full 8-iron. Same club she hit on the par 3. Plays 14 up, as Karen Stupples let us know. You can just see the very top of the flagstick. Sounded a tad thin.
You're trying to just finish on form. With that thicker
She hit a strong, aggressive driver down the left-hand side, and because she's close to the dog leg and closer to the hill, you can barely see. I don't even think she can see the flagstick. Able to come in with just a wedge. That was an aggressive swing. Nice line. Looks like a few people like that one. It's so funny, Morgan.
She's going to make the cut. She's -2. Here's Minjee for birdie at 16.
All right, she got it to the hole. It's as we've seen today, a tough task there.
All right, how about Amanda Doherty? She has this for eagle at the 18th, and it would tie her for the lead.
Putting down and then back up and then back down again. Tough to judge the speed here. Pretty well done there.
Like, putt aggressively to a conservative target. Give it a decent run, but don't run the risk of it flying by 2, 3, 4 feet.
It's a tough thing to do when you're putting down a hill like this, Kay.
It is, and the softer you hit it, then it'll get affected by the Poana and a little bit of bumpiness. Oh, that was so well struck. Gave it a legit chance.
Caroline Masson for eagle. As we said earlier, 2 putts to make the cut this year. So Jason's a spectator this week. And now Grace Kim. Really nice up and down at the second for par. Here she is at 3.
She's got such a beautiful golf swing, such lovely rhythm, tempo. I love the way she comes.
Made here today, Amanda Doherty over the 11th. And even longer from off the green, Ayaka Budaway at the 12th. And then at the 15th, also from off the green, Lexi Thompson. That was worth the wait.
At home, make sure you have it in the right spot. Otherwise, it's just adding extra confusion. These professionals are so precise.
Her rookie year at the event in Northern Ireland, she led outright after the first 3 days before a bit of a Sunday stumble. Lost her card the next year, and last year back and forth between the Epson Tour and the LPGA Tour. And as we said, Doherty got that last spot at Q School, and now a chance on the weekend. Caroline Masson is an LPGA winner and perennial Solheim Cup star for so many years for Europe. And this to make the cut.
I mean, if it stays like it is right now, I mean, obviously Grace has a lot of holes left, but it's only 7 shots potentially separating those who may. Didn't cover that tree by much.
No, I don't think she caught it as she wanted to, but it's going to be great.
How about this finish for Hannah?
Keep an eye out. So there's plenty of lost on this. We all know that she can get down on this golf ball pretty heavily, and as long as she can get it to chase, and this looks like it's tumbling.
Set up a little right there, maybe to play for the club shutting down a touch through the rough. Well judged. How about those 2 shots right there, Karen?
Awesome.
There is bringing so much good to the game. They're $100 million for their Simply Give program, hunger relief for the neediest neighbors here in the Midwest. Grace Kim at it again here at Blythefield. She lost a playoff last year.
It really is just a tremendous milestone, though, Grant. $100 million. All about what they're able to achieve through Simply Give.
First time here for the rookie Cassie Porter. Very impressive. She'll not get that one to fall at the 9th, but a good finish early for her over in Asia, China, and that really much good work early in the year. At the 17th, Minji's second.
She really lucked out, pulled her tee shot, but ended up in a good spot, a flat lie, light rough. Oh, and she just didn't catch that one.
Yeah, she was there where the spectators have trampled that down. That was a good miss, but didn't reap the rewards.
Looks like that cut line is going to be -1, so Jin Young Ko has this to make it to the weekend.
And the big scoreboard on the left of this side of the screen told all the players exactly what that cut line was going to be.
Just going to be her second missed cut of the season. It was in Phoenix. Maybe a couple of extra days back home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to get ready with the season's 3rd major. Right, here's Madeline Sackstrom finishing up her 2nd round. A winner already this year in Vegas. with a lead at the Meijer.
Yeah, she does have an affinity for this golf course for sure. Uphill, got to give it enough speed.
Like that was right where she was trying to play it, as if she wanted it to break a little bit to the left, and it just never did.
Mentioned her scoring average of 68 here. That's not just a handful of rounds. This is going to be her 40th round here. So 68 for an average on a par 72.
Yeah, a solid finish. I mean, as for 3 birdies in her last 4 holes, had a couple more opportunities. You look back on 10 and on 14 as well, but she's right.
It's Lexi and Hannah Green. Hannah for eagle. Well, she's going to make the cut. A little anticlimactic and a grin on her face. Her wins have usually come after a missed cut. But Brooke Henderson trying to turn things around here at 17 from a spot out of position.
Actually, decent lie in the rough. Needed to hit it up and over the left edge of the trees. And what a shot from that lie.
Goes through her share of Sharpies. And rewarding the volunteers out there following her today. Minji, 3rd at 17.
Well, she made that look pretty easy. Did not have much green to work with. Got away with a good bounce out of the rough.
Lexi, can you please sign my...
Here's Brooke for birdie at 17.
Pretty straightforward putt for birdie. 20-footer. What about that 3, guys?
You take it and run.
Yeah, these last couple groups have really taken advantage of the tough 17th. Still playing well over par, but scoring average going down a little bit as the day goes on.
Madeline Sackstrom at the 9th.
To her bag, Kay, at the start of the season.
It took a lot of convincing from her coach. Almost 2 years of convincing her to make this change. And yeah, she's influenced a lot of other players out here to go with the same type of putter.
This just kind of caught the left edge here. I could tell by her reaction. Oop. It's okay, still winning.
Par putt for Sackstrom. And she's in good shape heading into the weekend. You have 10 players separated by just a shot at the top. Bronte Law, who's conditionally exempt, former winner.
Going with the big D. Drawing this. Maybe too much draw.
Of course, the tour will be in Big D, Dallas-Fort Worth next week. And the driver goes awry there. Wide D. Up ahead, the 3rd for Ingrid Lindblad. And right on that cut line.
Yeah, looking to chip this one in here. Gave it a good run. A little bit of a breather off that cut line.
One of a couple of rookies who've won this year. Grace Kim won as a rookie back in 2023, the Lotte Championship, and it was played earlier in the year. 2nd at the par 5 4th. Got Jay Brewers over there to the right, the big food pavilion. Ooh.
The energy has been just electric in this area. We have heard cheers all day long from people having fun. And today,
oh God, ball's gone.
Ayaka Foodaway, she doesn't have a lot of practice hitting out of the rough because she hit so many fairways, but a beauty here at the 18th, and that eagle putt. Just
Houston players really struggle to read this 18th green. We've talked about some of the subtleties of these greens. There's some of them have quite a bit of slope, like 16, and then you get to one like 18, and there's not a ton of break around where that hole located.
The top 100 easily to keep her card. Clutch performance when she had to do it. All right, this is the third at the fourth for Grace Kim.
Interesting going with the wedge, but I like that play. Like eliminating.
All right, here is Minjee. Does she catch another break, Kay, with a shot here?
She did, and she's trying to hook it around the tree, went a lower route, and yeah, pretty good shot from there, in position to get it up and in for a birdie.
All right, at the adjacent par 5 fourth, Grace Kim has this to take the lead outright.
Oh, she missed a shortish putt earlier in the day as well. I believe it was on the 16th hole, the start of our coverage.
She looked a little frustrated with her chip shot as well. She'll settle for par, still tied for the lead. And Leo now addressing the masses.
To get something to land on the, just on the green and release down to the hole, but that really jumped on her. Get away with that one. That would have nearly gone off the.
She's had a lot of pitches just like this. Probably 5 paces to the edge of the green. Plenty of green to work with. That looks good. Whoa, the energy level just went up a couple notches with Brooks and that shot.
Yeah, that was one of her best pitches like that we've seen today. We've seen her struggle a little bit from that tightly mown grass, Kay, but that one, nice one to end on. Give you some confidence heading in to the weekend. Nearly flirted with an eagle.
It's going to go in one of these times. That would have been a share of the lead.
It's just,
well, after she bogeyed 15, she was only one inside the cut line, so at least she's here for another weekend. 2-time winner here.
Yeah, and for Brooke, it's always a special weekend. Her sister Brittany's husband, Zach Sapanik, is from the Grand Rapids area. He's here this week seeing some family, so for a lot of folks, it feels like home this week at Blythefield. And that's a nice finishing birdie for Minjee Lee. And she is in the best position she's ever been after any round here at the Meijer.
Yeah, she's been playing some good golf lately as well. So watch out for Minjee this weekend. Feeling really confident out there. Lexi Thompson lurking too.
Anna Kurtz Madsen has a lot on her mind. Her good pal, Nicole Bronca-Stroop, just had baby.